Mm, Um, I so
Yes, you look a little bit blurred,
yeah, sorry,
but now I
that's
can
it.
see you. Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about Bill Gates. So the first, who is Bill Gates? Well, this is an American business magnate, software developer, investor, author, and philanthropist. Basically, he's more, I don't know how to say, he's most known for being the co-founder of Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft we all knew the he invented Windows, the Visual Basic Language, and other things. And he born in 1995 in October 28. Well, I'm gonna say 18, but no, 28. Um, he wrote his first program at 13, so that's very cool. And he started in Harvard College well, from 1973 to 1975, and he don't finish his studies in Harvard. And well, like a lot of famous people that invented things today. Um, and well, I was saying he invented Windows in November 20 of 1985, and the company stick a deal with IBM. And I I'm gonna say this of memory because I remember that the deal it was with for each computer with Windows system, Bill Gates is gonna win $1. With that deal, I mean, he makes a lot of money. It sounds very awful, like less money, but it was a lot of money that he made with that deal. And he also found the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Melinda Gates is the wife of Bill Gates. This started with, well, he studied the work of Andrew Carnegie and John Rockefeller, and he um, well, with that idea, he creates the William H. Gates Foundation. Later, he will create the foundation with Bill and Melinda with Melinda the foundation Bill and Melinda Gates, and that's all. So have a nice day. Take care and eat well.
Thank you very much, Armando, for your presentation about Bill Gates. And yes, of course, even though for many people could be a polemical person, we can say he has been um, a person that has changed the world in many ways, especially with his technology. Now we have like the opportunity to do so many stuff in computers. Yeah. So if he hadn't done that, probably we don't know what would be doing now. Probably everyone will be working with the Mac system, but we never know, right? But I think in the end, the labor he did was remarkable and important for us. Thank you so much, Armando, for your presentation. And here we go. I think I'm almost ready to have your presentation, Rodrigo. So you give me a second. I'm going to open it.
Sí.
Wait a second, please. Okay, I think I have it ready, Rodrigo. So here we go. All right, Rodrigo. So if you are so kind, this is the moment to begin.
Sí, I'm going to talk about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. He was an American Baptist minister and activist who became the most visible spokesman and leader in American civil rights movement from 1955 until his assassination in 1968. In his education, he attended segregated public schools in Georgia, graduating from high school at the age of 15. He received the BA degree in 1948 from Morehouse College, a distinguished Negro institution of Atlanta from which both his father and grandfather had graduated. In 1954, Martin Luther King became pastor of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama, always a strong worker for civil rights for members of his race. King was a member of the executive committee of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the leading organization of its kind in the nation. In 1957, he was elected the president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization formed to provide new leadership for the now burgeoning civil rights movement. At the age of 35, he was the youngest man to have received the Nobel Peace Prize. When notified of his selection, he announced that he would turn over the prize money of 54 100 to 123 to the fortunes of the civil rights movement. On the evening of April 4, 1968, while standing on the balcony of his motel room in Memphis, Tennessee, where he was to lead a protest march in sympathy with drinking garbage workers of that city, he was assassinated. And here are some famous words that he left. That one of it is, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. And that's all.
Great, Rodrigo. Thank you very much. I think this character was very important for the world because can you believe that for so many years the USA didn't give the same rights to Black people? So imagine it was only until after the 50s decade that Black people started to have like more rights and started to be treated equally. So I think it's, by the way, pretty unfair, but it doesn't surprise me because even though the USA is the country that has like the highest amount of immigrants of the world, there are still lots of racist attitudes that they still have. And well, until the decade that I told you, it's when Black people started to get a similar treatment and to get the same rights than the white ones, right? Thank you so much for this presentation, Rodrigo. And after this, we're going to go on with Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Are you ready for presenting? Or
Hi, teacher. Yes, ready.
okay, let me make you co-host so that you.
Yes.
Okay, give me a second. Ready, Daniel. Whenever you're ready, let's go. Ready, let's go. Don't forget to have your camera on, please, if you're so kind.
Oh, teacher, I have problems with the camera. It is a problem that I cannot.
Don't worry.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. I'm going to talk about Muhammad Ali. He was an American boxer considered the most complete in history. Named Cassius Clay, he was born in Louisville, Kentucky, the 17th of January in 1942. This is the history of application boosted by extraordinary physical conditions and an unusual speed of reflexes. both legs and fists. At the age of 12, he already knew the duty of the ring, and through daily work, he acquired a prodigious technique. In little more than 3 decades of professional activity, he earned close to $30 million. His professional career began when he won the gold medal at the Rome Olympics in 1960 in the light heavyweight category. In the 1974, he made KO to Sonny Liston and won the world title of the Hayes category heavyweights problem. The problems that he acquired in his career in 1967 Open began called up. He refused to go to fight in the Vietnam War and declared himself a conscientious objector for religious reasons. The state's response was severe. The title was withdrawn. The official press attacked him harshly, calling him a coward, and the courts sentenced him to 5 years in prison. Once the sentence was complete, he returned to the ring and regained his title, often winning in 1974 to George Foreman in a fight that was held in Kinshasa. In 1980, he played his last fight, in which he was defeated and permanently disposed of the heavyweight world title. And this is all, teacher. Thank you.
Great. I think this is a very interesting character because Muhammad Ali was an athlete who not only won lots of titles and money, he also was like a very important activist for Black people. Yeah, and he was like together with Martin Luther King one of the most important defenders of minorities of the USA. In fact, according to what he said in the presentation, yeah, it was really interesting that he changed his name to Muhammad Ali because, as he mentioned, his real name was Cassius Clay, but later he became to the Islamic religion and changed his name because of that. But okay, then, thank you so much for your presentation. We still have some more people waiting for presenting their character. Hello, Dulce. Do you want to be the next one? Are you agree with this?
Yes, teacher.
Thank you, co-host. Let's go.
Can you tell me if you can see it?
Yes, we can. Can we see you by the camera?
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay. Okay. Hi, I'm going to talk about a little bit of the life of Mahatma Gandhi and who he was. So I'm going to start with the question, who? He was born in Porbandar in India on October 2 on 1860. He was a lawyer because he graduated from the London Law College called Inner Temple. He was a politician because he came from a family of politicians, and also we all know him because he was a social activist. There is a word, satyagraha, that means having like no to how to say it, not to act the same violent way that your oppressors. And then he died in Delhi, India on January 1848 at the age of 78. And because the reason was a shot in a protest. Then what he do? What he did, sorry. He was against the British rule in India. What does this British rule is? As we know, India was a part of London, of Grand of London, sorry, and This rule means like they wanted to make Indian people to have more power in the government, but not really, because if they want that Indian people has the power, they will simply leave, but they didn't. And also they he were against the segregation in Africa, and he was known as the father of India because he was the reason why India is independent today and their non-aggressive protest. Then why? So I have a short story there. Here, the segregation law on Africa, why he was against this. When he was learning English and Latin, he goes to South Africa to school to learn it, but he got a first class ticket on the train. But what happened there? They said he can be there. He can be at the same place that white people. So he was discriminated and sent in the back of the train, even if he has their ticket. So when he get there, he go inside these Indian communities and start a non-violent resistance against the segregation law. Then the British law. There is an important point in all the Gandhi history. As we know, India has a lot of coast. And there was a rule that the only salt that you can buy or get in India has to be British. So what does he do? What did he do? He goes with a bunch of people to this coast to get their own salt, and they get arrested. But it was a moment where people started thinking if this law was really important or has some logical if that exists, because they can get their own salt. Then he helped to get India independence, and these are some of my thoughts. I think he started this from a sense of morality, where he saw that being segregated or that people judge you just based on your skin color or only because you were born in some place is not good and is not okay. So I think he also inspired civil rights movements, because if there was no Gandhi, there wouldn't be some Nelson Mandela or other people who were inspired by him. And where did this happen? Well, first happened in South Africa. That's when he awakes and see how the world is and that you are being racist by your skin color. And then after he didn't want that war, because we know segregation happens even after he died. But he goes to India, and a lot of people know him because his background movements. So a lot of people help him and be like inspired by him. So how does he did this? Sorry. First, the way of not responding violence, being a non-violence protest, and fasting, because if you have one people dying of food as a country looks bad, and it is because you are not doing something, it's make you be in charge of that death. And it is a lot of people is even worse, because the public opinion is on your country. And then the boycott, as we saw in the salt law, that they decide not to consume British salt and start getting their own salt and get arrested. He gets 6 times arrested in South Africa and a lot of times in India. But there was a saying, oh, well, this is the meaning of Satigaria. is not responding with violence to your oppressors, but using instead your body, your language, and your people. Because if there's people that follows you and thinks the same way that you, it's going to be okay, and you are going to be part of a change. And then I have a little facts. Mahatma, sorry, means soul, great soul. Um, this means that Mahatma Gandhi wasn't his real name. His real name was Mohandas Gandhi, and the Mahatma was given by their Indian people who thinks he can be a great soul who can change the world. Then America tell that October the 2nd is going to be the International Day of Non-Violence. And by the magazine Time, he was elected to be Person of the Year in 1930. And before he, no, after he take the celibacy vote, he had 4 sons, and he was nominated for a prize Nobel 4 times, but he didn't get it. None of them. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
Thanks a lot. What a cool presentation of a really remarkable man because, well, as you can see, he is a very important person because he is like, we can say the main leader, yes, of the pacifist movement. Yeah, because as she was saying, yeah, as Dulce was saying, he had like a very specific idea of not reacting in a bad way or not having any wars or conflicts. So he was like one of the first people who ever declared himself a pacifist, and obviously we know it because we heard some facts about his life, and probably he was a very important person because of that. Because if you notice, there have been many years that the world hasn't had like a war that involves most of the countries. So probably his influence was really important to like make other countries think seriously about this, and instead of solving their conflicts with wars, they have recently been doing this in a different way. No, thank you very much, Dulce, for your presentation. And
Thank you, teacher.
well, no, thanks to you on the contrary. And the next one, it's gonna be Emilio. Hi, Emilio. Are you ready to talk?
Yeah, teacher, I'm ready.
Okay, let me make you co-host
Thanks.
and ready
Um,
when you want.
yeah. Okay. Mm, I can share, teacher.
Ready. Now you are a co-host.
Yeah, thanks, teacher. Well, my presentation is about Elon Musk. Well, first of all, we have to talk where was he born, and so, that was a surprise for me because I think that Elon Musk was from America, United States, and I get a surprise because Elon Musk is not from America. It's of South Africa, and that's interesting for me. Well, then who is Elon Musk? Well, Elon Musk is an entrepreneur and businessman that found XCOM in 1999, and that they became PayPal, that is very famous in Mexico and other countries. Then he created SpaceX in 2002 and Tesla Motors in 2003. Well, what is most important things that he made? The companies of Elon Musk are Zip2, are PayPal, and SpaceX. Well, now it's in my opinion, I'm going to say why it's my idol. Well, Elon Musk, it's not only an entrepreneur, he wants to save to the earth. One of his biggest dreams or goals is to go to Mars and make life in Mars, but all the scientific people say that that was crazy and it's unnecessary. But Elon Musk always want to change the things because one of the most interesting things of Elon Musk is that he changed things that are okay, that are good, but he want to improve it. On the example of the cars, no one imagine that the car can drive alone, and Elon Musk make a car that can drive with his own intelligence in America. Well, and then he sent his Apollo, no, Apollo, no. I don't remember the name, but he sent a picture his spaceship. Yeah, no.
Well, we call it the ones who go to the moon or somewhere else. We call them space shuttle.
Ah, okay. Okay, he sent a space shuttle to only to recognize the Earth, and that's a big pass to the humanity because he want to change all the type of life of all the humans. And one of the most important things that he's making, he want to make a chip for the brain, and that's interesting for me because it's one of the is for me it's difficult to do it or the people want it, but if he reach the goal to make to the humans more intelligence or have more capacity, it's going to be awesome for me, and that's the reasons I like Elon Musk.
Yes, of course, he has done uh, so many stuff, and well, his projects are really ambitious, and I think yeah, in the future they are going to be really profitable for more people, and we can maybe travel to the moon. Now, so I think that's something really cool talking about him. And well, let's continue the presentations because now, mm, what if we have your presentation, Johan? Are you there?
Yes, teacher, I'm ready.
Okay, let me make you co-host and give me a second. Okay, ready? You can show your screen any moment.
Yes. Mm, okay, can you see, teacher?
Yes, we can. Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about Albert Einstein. Okay, he was a German American physicist. Albert Einstein was born on March 14 in 1879 in Ulm, Württemberg, Germany. He died on April 18 on 1955 on Princeton, New Jersey. He was a German-born physicist who developed the special and general theories of relativity and won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921 for his explanation of the photoelectric effect. Einstein in general considered the most influential physicist of the 20th century. His childhood and his education, Einstein's parents were secular, middle class Jews. His father was Hermann Einstein, who was originally a feather-bed salesman and later ran an electrochemical factory with moderate success. His mother, the former Pauline Koch ran the family household, and he had one sister, Maria. She was born 2 years after Albert. And there is the nine main contribution of Albert Einstein to the science. That was the theory of special relativity, the photoelectric effect, the equation E, the theory of general relativity, on field theory, the study of gravitational waves, movement of the universe, and Brownian movement. After a 2-year stint as teacher, Albert Einstein started working at the Swiss patient office. Meanwhile, he worked on his doctoral thesis that he would present in 1995. It was from that moment that he dedicated himself to writing articles, which began to arouse the interest of the scientific community. And the third of these articles was where the theory of relativity was exposed, in which he was working for several years. Based on this theory, Einstein was able to understand the nature of many processes in the nature, from the movement of the planets to the reason for the existence of gravity. And there is the most popular phrases from him. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. The only real value thing is intuition, and it should be possible to explain the laws of physics to be to a barmy. And that's all, teacher.